I want to thank you for joining me for episode 5 of Changing the Game. Today, I want to talk about, what it means to be a student athlete. As many of you know, I recently started the business of being a life coach. My new business is at Changing the Game, lifecoach.com. And here is designed for the athlete and the family as well to have an avenue to discuss the many things that come along with being a student athlete. So let's think about what a student athlete is. Well, first, he's a student or she's a student and an athlete. So we talk about having to do all the things that a student does, plus be an athlete. So let's think about that. Okay, homework. Well, as a regular student, you have homework to do. So being an athlete, you're expected to do that homework as well, regardless of all the other things you got going on, because you also have practice. So a student athlete is expected to be able to have practice, be on time, work hard in practice, and then find the time to be a regular student and do their homework. That's pretty good load, right? On top of that, they want to have the social life that other kids have, right? Makes sense. Everybody wants to have friends they hang with, or a boyfriend or girlfriend, or, hang out at, a party, or, a social gathering of some sort. So they want that social life as well as social media on top of homework and practice. Now they have the social life. Let's put the family dynamics in it. So on top of all of those things, you have a family dynamic. So sometimes it could be a healthy home, but they're sharing a room with a sibling, or they don't have a room, they sleep on the couch, or mom and dad are fighting, or daddy's not there, or they're not getting the love from their parents, or their parents are working a lot. So we have to think of the family dynamics as being part of the mental health process. All of this is going on with a kid. So we have the homework, we have practice, we have a social life, and now we have to take into consideration the family dynamics, what's going on at home, right, with their family. So on top of those things, there's many more relationships on top of their normal relationships that they have. For example, their relationship with their coach, right? Maybe it's good, maybe it's not so good. Maybe he or she is a mentor. Maybe he or she is a bad example. Maybe he or she puts pressure on them, or talks bad to them. Those type of things also add stress and pressure to an athlete, or their relationship with their teammates. Maybe some of the teammates are jealous. Are they supportive? Are they in competition with each other? Those are the type of things you have to think about. So you got the homework, you got the practice, you got the social life, the family dynamics, and now their relationships with those involved with the sports, the coaches and the teammates. Now we want to add in another piece. Let's talk about performance, the pressure to perform. So you're looking to be a student athlete that excels. Well, along with that comes the pressure to perform and be good at it. Are their friends or cousins or brothers and sisters, were they good? Was dad good? Are they, now they have this pressure on top of them to do well. And so if they're not doing as well as they plan to or hope to or wanted to, there becomes that added on anxiety and stress of being a student athlete. So you have the homework, the practice, the social life, the family dynamics, the relationship with their coaches and teammates, and now you have this pressure to perform. And all of those things can affect the kid's confidence, right? So you can look at, are they confident enough to perform? Are they having, self-confidence in not only the performing on the field, but off the field, off the court. Are they confident in themselves? Are they starting to doubt themselves? All of those things come into play, which leads us to anxiety. And anxiety or nervousness to some degree in sports is normal. Before a game, we get nervous. Before the playoffs, we nervous. But then it can become excessive, and it can affect their daily lives. You can see a change in attitude. You can see sometimes they want to not play the game at all. And those type of things can be harmful to their long-term success. So at Changing the Game, I really concentrate on making sure they're mentally healthy. I think this is a piece that's overlooked in sports. No one really talks about the pressure of being a student athlete. We see all these athletes being social media stars or the leading scorer, but you're not thinking of the things that the pressure they live with because of being that person. Or you might know the kid that's, not getting much playing time. And we don't think about how that can play with that person's confidence or, how they feel about themselves in any situation. So we have to really understand that, student athletes really have an added pressure to them that a normal student wouldn't have. And I think one of the problems we have in that community is they don't have anyone really that is specializing in talking to them about those particular things. We think of going to therapy or a life coach is needing help. It's not needing help as much as it is guidance. A life coach like myself that specializes in sports, I understand the pressure and the anxiety and the expectations of being a student athlete, so I can relate. I've been doing, this and mentoring teenagers since my first time in '93. So I think it's really healthy if we start having those conversations, if we start looking into helping our student athletes deal with life. I always tell, my staff, when we're dealing with kids, you never know what they're going through at home. You never know their mindset. So let's talk to them and not treat them as if they're just another student athlete. Each student athlete is an individual with individual problems, joys, stressors, those type of things. And we really have to take that into account. So I'm asking you to take a moment, go to my website, changingthegamelifecoach.com. Look it over. And you may be a student athlete that are going through some of the similar things or just want someone to talk to. Do not be afraid to tell your mom or dad or mentor or someone that you want to have somebody else to talk to. Because me being a parent and parents, I'm sure you understand, you can say things to kids all day long and they will not receive it as they will someone that they look up to as a mentor. They can say the exact same thing you did, but those kids will receive it differently. That's our human nature. Again, I want to thank you for joining me for Changing the Games, episode 5, and we're dealing with the stress and mental health of being a student athlete. Thank you, and I'll talk to you again soon.